Hello and welcome to Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want. My name is Jasmine. I am your host, and I want to thank you for listening. As usual, I'm very excited today. I have a guest that I've had a girl crush on. Like guys. I think I've talked to you about her before, but here she is. If I haven't, this is Natasha. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Jasmine. Thanks
How
for
you,
inviting.
how you doing?
Great.
So, I'm teasing, of course, but I have a lot of love for you, and I remember seeing you speak. I've seen you around. You've been speaking for a long time now, right? In the community. And last year, I think it was the first time that I saw you live. I'd always see you on video, like pre-recorded and things like that, but I never seen you live. And I saw you live last year at the 3PGC UK conference. And I just loved the feeling inside the conversation that we were having. And so I'm super happy to have you here. Thank you so much for accepting. And so my podcast is called Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want. And I created the Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want like years ago when I quit my job. And in 2001, I quit my job and I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. And I just slapped, everything I could do on a business card. And then somebody asked me, what's your company name? And I was like, no idea. And then I went D3, and they were like, what is D3? My last name is Desbiens, like with a D. So, and then I said D to the power of 3 because I was listening to a show that had P3, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do D3. And then somebody said, well, what does D3 mean? And I was like, oh man, all these questions. And then I went, Dream It, Dare It, Do It. And it just stuck with me this whole time. And when I started the podcast, I wondered how to call it. And I said, this is the best name you could have. So my question to you is, actually, before I ask a question, I would like you, because I know you and I'm assuming everybody knows you, but can you maybe just tell people, my listeners, like where you're from? Because I think that's cool. And who you are.
Well, I'm from Denmark and I am pure consciousness. Well, and apart from that,
Yeah.
I'm 52 years old. I have been interested in psychology and spirituality since I was a teenager. I was fascinated about what we couldn't see, what we couldn't feel. I knew there was something out there or somewhere, and I just didn't know where it was. So I started this search, and it took me to lots of different things: spirituality, theosophy, psychology, NLP, astrology, everything. It was just, it was like a sweet store that I was going into and trying out everything. But it wasn't until I was 42 years old that I came across the 3 principles at a seminar in London called Coaching from the Inside Out with Michael Neal. And that was it for me. There was something there that I couldn't name, I couldn't touch. It kind of looked like something I'd been dabbling in before, and yet it wasn't. And so that really got my curiosity going. And so I then started to find out more about it. What is it? What's it about? Where does it come from? I found out that this guy, Syndey Banks, was the one who spoke about it in this way. And again, it's not that Syndey Banks found anything in particular. It's like he had a insight so big, and he started explaining what he'd seen or pointing to what he'd seen. And it just made sense. There were so many things inside of me that just fell into place while I was listening to him. And so I just went, wow, the search is over. I've come home. There's no to go. There's nothing to do. I want to spend the rest of my life sharing this. So the past 10 years, almost 11 years, it's all I've been doing. I do it in one-to-one. I have a school called the Three Principles School. I also own the Principles Institute. I do lots of different things, but mostly I'm excited about sharing this with people who want to teach or who want to become coaches so that they can go out in the world and spread it. And then I'm also really, really pleased to be part of the board of the Three Principles Global Community, because it allows me a platform to reach even more people.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about me.
So I actually love that you said that you're pure consciousness, because if we look at, so the three principles, for those of you who've been listening, are mind, consciousness, and thought, right? And you say you're pure consciousness. You didn't say I'm pure mind. You didn't say I'm pure thought. You said pure consciousness. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, you could say that the three principles really is one principle, which is that out of nothing, everything arises. Now, what is nothing? Well, nothing is pure awareness, pure consciousness. It's wide open space. It's full of pure potential to create anything. So the way that we speak about this one principle, I mean, you could also call the one principle creation. It's the creation of anything. It's the potential to create anything. But what can we say about creation? We can say that it seems pretty intelligent. It seems to be able to create things intelligently, things that work, like the human body, like nature, like the animals. Everything seems to be part of this system. You could also say about creation that it's creative. Look at all the different forms that we can see around us. And you could also say that it is aware. Creation is aware. There's awareness in everything. So it's really just three different ways to speak about one fact, which is that everything is created out of nothing. And so I think it's beautiful. And we are that. We are part of creation. And right now, I am being created as this body mind that looks a lot like Natasha Swerdloff, and you look a lot like Jasmine. And so it's just one of the ways that this form has taken shape. But the form also takes shape as our thinking, our feeling, our perceptions, our sensations. Everything takes form in some way, and then it dissolves again into consciousness, and then it takes a new form and a new form. So when we see that everything is created in each and every moment, and then it dissolves, then we don't get so attached to things being a certain way, because we see that it's fluid. And we don't get so attached about the past either, because we see it's gone. You know, everything that's not happening right now is over. And so it gives an incredible freedom to see that in each moment there is the potential for newness to be created, for something that's never been seen before. And it's a space inside that we all have access to. And when we're not boggled down by our intellect that says, oh, you must create this, or it must look a certain way, but you go, let me just stand here in this space of pure potential. Let's see what happens. It's so fun. It's such a fun place to play. And that's one of the things I enjoy very much about working with you, Jasmine, is that you like to play in this as well. Like, let's do this. We could try that. Why don't we try this? What about if we tweak this? And it's fun. And life becomes easy and fun and playful from that space.
Yeah, I love to play. Like my friends would say, like, let's just play with this, or hey guys, I just played with this. This is what I do. I use the word play a lot. And yeah, I think it's just kind of like, let's not get stuck with, oh, but that doesn't look right, or that doesn't look good, or what are they going to say about this? What are they going to say about that? You know, like I kind of like let go of that, but I still see it. I still see it pop up in me. You know, sometimes I'm going to go, oh man, this is going to happen. And then I'm kind of like, let's see, whatever, whatever, you know. And I love, like, really, I love more and more. I'm doing this, and I created a new logo. My logo is a circle, and if you look at my logo, it kind of moves. It almost, like, I wanted to try to put a movement inside my logo, because that's how I feel. I feel like it's all about moving. It's all about it. There's like this movement that makes you move forward and grow and expand. And that's when I play, that's how it feels, you know. Let me
And
ask you, so the title of my podcast is Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life That You Want. So I was wondering, like, if you, like, when you're listening to those words, what do you feel in it?
potential.
Mm,
It's like anything can happen. When you started to speak about that title, I was thinking back to when I was 25 years old. I was finished as a psychotherapist. My training was over, and somebody told me, "Well, you have to have a job now." And I said, "Well, I'd like to be self-employed." And they said, "You can't be self-employed at 25." And I'm like, "Really? Watch."
yeah, watch me.
Watch me. And so that's 28 years ago. And so I really had a dream, and I did dare to do it, and I did
Do
go
it.
for it.
Yeah,
And so here I am today, and I've had so many wonderful experiences working primarily in companies as a business consultant and coach. But then the past 10, 11 years, it's been really just moving into the three principles. First of all, in the companies I was working at, but now I've left those behind, and I'm just focusing on my school and on one-to-one, and then being on the board and doing the work there, which is
yeah,
so exciting.
yeah, guys. 3pgc.org. You know, come and sign up, become members, put yourself on the list, because there's cool stuff coming. Just saying. We're going to put a plug in right there, right, Natasha? Let's use the platform for a reason. Let me ask you, I would like you to talk about love. I would like you to talk about love, because I love talking about I love talking about love. And you know, it's funny because, I'm in the 3P French community. I'm part of the committee with them. So we're talking about, how sometimes the word love scares people. Like, what do you mean? Because we're doing these webinars, and we all know that we're sitting in this space of love in that moment, that we're just sitting there and we're enjoying the energy that's flowing. And then my intellect goes, I can't say that to my friends. Just come and feel the energy, because they're going to go, what the heck are you talking about, Jasmine? I think that we've been in the conversation long enough to know that, yeah, that's what that is. But anybody who's just listening now, like, that's just brand new or that's fairly new, what would you say love is? Like, what are we doing in that moment?
Well, there's two different perspectives that we can take, in my view, which is personal love or impersonal love. And in this conversation that we're having around the principles, it's the big love that we're speaking about. Now, what is the nature of love? What is the nature? What is it that comes out of love? What is it that arises when we are in love? First of all, we don't judge. Have you noticed that? When you're in love with somebody, you don't judge them. Judgment is something that comes in on the personal level very often. I love this, but I don't love that. I love you when you do this, but I don't love you when you do that. But pure love, it doesn't take sides. It doesn't make duality. It's a oneness. How do we know that we love? How do we know it? Right? Well, how do I know I love my husband? Because he's, this tall, or has beautiful blue eyes or whatever it is. No, I just know it. And I remember the moment that I knew it. I remember it was a moment in time. I looked into his eyes and I got surprised because there was this big feeling inside of me that had gone from, "Ooh, he's cute," to, "Wow, I'd like to get to know him better," to, "Oh, I love him." It's a completely different ballgame. How
Mm.
did I know? I just knew it. Ask anyone when they love somebody, love their children, love their anyone, friend, something, that deep love. You can't quantify it. It's just a knowing inside, like beauty. And if we see something that's beautiful, it's the same knowing.
Mm.
It's not, well, I like sunsets because there's some pink and then maybe some yellow and there's maybe some orange. No, it's just beautiful. So there's something about knowing something deeply that's inside, that's its oneness. It always comes with a feeling of wanting to help, wanting to be supportive of other people, not judging them, having compassion for other people, having passion for something. So those are all traits or all behaviors that arise out of love. And again, it's so different than the personal love, because personal love is, well, I love this, but then, well, I don't today. When we really love, for instance, children, right? It's like we can be annoyed with them, they can be a pain in the butt, but the love doesn't go away. So love from a personal level comes and goes. So it goes up and down and in and out, and it's movable. The love that's our nature is present always, doesn't come and go. It's always here. So the nature of love is that which doesn't come and go. It's always present. It doesn't have a shape, a form. It doesn't have a color, a race, an age. That's why it's so beautiful, when you look around the world, you see people of all kinds of ages and all kinds of races, and people just connect in love, even if it sometimes is dangerous for them to share the love because of the culture that they are living in. So the love is the nature of love is doesn't come and go. It doesn't judge. It doesn't make separation. It's oneness. So it's quite beautiful.
Mm. This weekend. So one of the things that I love to do is listening to true crime. And I just love listening to it. And what I'm fascinated by is the power of thought in that moment. That, like, I can literally see in every person that, either attacked someone, was attacked. I just can see it all at work, and this weekend I saw how everything that is, I'm going to say, illegal or problematic or hurtful, or it's just a misunderstanding of what people think of their personal thought. I just, like, this weekend, I just saw it. It kind of showed up, and it was kind of like, wow, you're just not seeing that that's personal. It's not true. It's just something that you thought and that occurred. And I think that's the power of, you know, teaching this and helping people understand it, and just deepening the conversation. Like, I can see how in the beginning it was very intellectual, understanding it. I knew that I touched something. I knew that there was something true towards that. But I still had the intellect. I was still fighting, with what I had learned in the past. Have you had like do you remember the beginning when you started, like 10 years ago, how you started with it? Like when I first started understanding this, I felt my thoughts on my head. I used to wipe my forehead going, go away. I don't want you. It was an innate, it was natural. I'd be like, God, just go. It almost felt like an energy stuck to my head.
I guess I remember some of my first memories from that time was that I was surprised that I wasn't reacting in the same way that I used to.
Mm.
So it was more the lack of thinking that I was noticing. It was more quiet inside. And after 6 or 7 months, I was like, what is going on with me? There was just a lot of things that weren't on my mind anymore. So it was more like things had fallen away. And that's continued to happen. More and more things fall away. I even had something as late as yesterday that could have triggered a reaction with me, and there was nothing. And I was kind of looking like, you're reading this email. This would have triggered you in the past. Nothing? Really? I was kind of looking for something. Nothing.
Yeah,
It
I'm the
was just,
same.
that was just yeah, it was just not
It's
there.
really cool. It's so cool that it's like, in the past I would have been like up in arms, and I'd be like, oh my God, and what am I going to do? And blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just kind of like, eh,
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm just making it all up anyways. All the craziness, I'm just making it all up. Let's see where it goes, instead of investing all my energy in this craziness.
Yeah. No, it's life has just become so much simpler, so much more loving, so much more fun, uncomplicated, quiet. It's I couldn't, if I had dreamed anything that I dreamed about in my 20s or 30s was tiny compared to what has happened today, what has unfolded, not by me doing anything, but by me listening to that guide inside that has just led me into this route. I mean, even being part of the board of the 3PGC, I mean, I'd never dreamed of that.
Yeah.
And then when the opportunity came, and I went, well, why don't I see if that's something for me? And I was invited in, and now have been there a couple of years, and I'm loving it to be able to work with such great people. It's really fun. It's just I hadn't seen it coming. So very often before, especially as a business consultant, helping people making plans and dreaming, and that was what I did. It was my specialty. Like, where do you want to be in 3 years? Let's make it happen, right?
Yeah.
And now I see that life is much larger than any plan we can make, because we make it with our intellect.
Yeah.
Life has much bigger plans for us. So I've sort of taken my hands off, and I'm seeing what life is bringing. And it's like, it keeps amazing me. I mean, it's much more fun than me thinking I want to go there, trying to get there, efforting to get there. And then finally getting there and like, huh. And
Yeah.
now, like, I wonder what life has today. I wonder what will happen today, right now. And then going, wow, well, I didn't see that coming. That was fun. Just today, it was fun for me. I have my dad is in the house next door. I picked him up a couple of days ago, and he's staying the next week. And I went over just to have a cup of tea. And half an hour later, we're watching old movies together. We're laughing. We're watching silent movie with Mel Brooks. We're watching a Jerry Lewis movie, The Nutty Professor, and we're both laughing. And I mean, what a beautiful way to spend the day with my old dad. I don't know how long I'll have him, but so these moments are so precious. I couldn't have planned it. It just happened. So
Yeah. I'm really starting to see myself, how, like, let's say I didn't enjoy somebody's company, how it was literally my intellect in the way, It was literally my past, me bringing, whatever happened and how I reacted back then. And I was just keeping it in place and just feeding it. And once I started seeing, well, actually, that's gone. I'm not even the same girl. Like, I'm not the same person I was, 20 years ago. So why am I keeping it in place? And it just started making sense to me. Just started showing up as why, And the other thing that showed up for me is how sometimes I would do, how innocent I would do things. There was things that I would do like, I don't know, this is not right. Like the right and wrong conversation. You have to do things right. Yeah, but if I do this, I'm feeling like crap. Like if I'm doing the right thing, I'm not feeling good about it at all. And I would do that. A lot of the times I would do the right thing and feel bad for like the longest time until I saw that I don't have to do the right thing. And who says it's the right thing? And most of the time, what I've realized was like, that actually wasn't the right thing.
Yeah. Do you know the Rumi poem?
No.
Out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
And that it really is, once you see the oneness nature of life, that's where we are. We're playing in that field beyond rightness or wrongness. We're just being part of creation, seeing where it takes us. And it just takes us to the most magical places.
Wow. Yeah. Listen, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much for accepting to be my guest. I keep seeing what's written in the back, but I can't see the whole writing. If it's not happening now, it's
over.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Natasha, thank you so much. If people want to go see what you're doing, you have a YouTube channel. Yes. And it's Natasha Swerdloff, the yes. YouTube channel. Okay. Yes. And the website?
It's the Principles Institute.
Okay.
Is one of them. And then also the 3P School.
3P School.
Yeah. But if you just Google my name, all sorts of stuff will come up. So
everybody will find you by Googling your name. Well, thank you very much once again.
Oh, and of course there's the book. There's
the book. Coming Home, of course. Oh, guys, come on. I'm sorry. Coming Home. And it's written with?
Dickon Bettinger.
So we've seen Dickon earlier in the podcasts. So, yeah, you wrote this when?
2014 we started, and I think it came out in 15 or 16.
Very cool.
Translated into 10 languages now. Not in French, I'm just saying.
Okay, I got it. I got the point. All right. Well, very cool, Natasha. Thank you again. Is there anything else I'm forgetting that you want to talk about?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for listening, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. Everybody else, I'm going to say, dream it, dare it, do it, live the life you want, and I'll see you next week. Bye.